Love it live. Huh. All right. So let's see what this one is. And then how long should it take us? 25 minutes. We'll get it done in 10 because we're already done with it. I'm done already, right? I did this one a long time ago. But this is, let's learn about regional settings. And we'll learn, let's see, is there anything on here? We're going to do regional settings. And then we're going to do, so org-wide settings are things you set that affect everybody in the org. They create defaults for the user, search, regional settings, multiple currencies, and user interface controls. All right, well, that's fair. It shouldn't be take that long to figure this out. How configuring your company settings affect your end users? Do y'all know the answer to that? I think I just said it. Anybody remember what I just said? It's the interactive part of the class.
Oh, it affects all your users. It controls what they can see, what they can do.
Right. It affects all users and it creates defaults if you have to change it. And then translate company business requirements into company settings and implement changes to your company information in fiscal year. Never change the fiscal year, at least not make it custom, and update your personal locale settings. So company settings are, oh my God, changing your company settings in Salesforce is easy. Yeah. So they're the collection of information about your org. Think of it as your org's user record in Salesforce. Your org is part of a tenancy and an instance and in the ecosystem, and all of your settings are the company settings. So we've got to identify your company from all the other customers in Salesforce. But you also can change those, right? Like the name and address, the primary contact. So like one of the first things, I think, Chen, in an article we haven't published yet, right? When you first, an admin essential is to make sure that if you're the new admin at a company, you should check the company settings and make sure they're up to date. And that if it's your job to be the billing person or whoever it is, like make sure that that primary contact, if it's going to be you as the new admin in a sensible org, it would be a super user, superhero admin. The company's default locale, their currency, any other currencies, knowing how much storage you're using. If you had a bad admin before you that created all the text files as 30,000 characters, you're going to have a bloated org with a bunch of empty data, but still going to take up space. Knowing your fiscal year information, because it affects your reporting, not only to the IRS, but also it affects all of the standard date fields that are based on fiscal year. If your company changes the fiscal year and you pull a report for the current fiscal year, the dates won't match what the company is, right? The licenses available, that is how many edition licenses you bought. Remember, the edition that you purchase creates a Salesforce license, and the number of permissions that are contained in that license are based on the edition. And therefore, all your profiles will be a subset of that edition license. So if you have an essentials edition versus an unlimited edition, your profiles would still have the Salesforce license associated with them, but the number of permissions would be controlled by the actual edition. If you put in your business hours, holidays, those things, why are they important? So why do they call it support information? What's the significance of holidays and business hours?
Well, if you had something set, like if you have a call cadence that at like 3 days later, if you have, it will tell you, you'll skip the holidays, and you can set to skip holidays and weekends, but you need to know which holidays.
I think my internet kind of went wacky, but it's all of the, so for support is based on cases. This is kind of basic, but I also want to make sure to remind everybody, support and cases have one thing and one thing only called escalation rules, and your entitlements and milestones are all based on time, and that timer only runs while your business is open. So if you're, but these are going to be based upon the company headquarters default location, time zone, and time. So you got to adjust it, but only when you have people working do those timers run. Right? So your business hours and holidays affect when cases get escalated and things change. But if you're not open, it'll stop the clock until you open up again. So don't leave those times at 24 hours. Locale settings are the things that make the user make sense, like date and time format. I have somebody who sends me date and time format like they're from Canada, and it always confuses me because I don't even know what the dates are. I cannot make head or tail. I just can't do it. Month, day, year, day, month, year. I can't tell. So whether your numbers have commas or dots, whether the name is first and last name, I'm not picking on anybody particular in this call, but if they did, but I'm a month, day, year guy, right? I was born on August 28th, so it's 8/28, not 28/8. I just don't know what month 28 is. The name order, addresses, phone numbers, all that, right? So the company's going to have a default locale, but each individual user, even though you both speak English, one person might speak the UK version of English versus the US version of English, and therefore their locale settings could be set for those as well. So it helps the users experience Salesforce the best way for them, the way their mind works, the way all their stuff works. So that's important. Same with language. If your company only hires people and sells to people with the same language, you don't have to worry about multiple languages. But Salesforce does for you the translation for everything standard automatically if you add additional languages. So everything except your custom work is automatically translated to a new language. So if you hire somebody that speaks a different language, then it automatically, everything's standard. Now, Chen and I worked on a project where we had to adjust everything custom, right? To add a different language. That could be a little challenging because you've also, but that's in a different part of the system. But when you go through that, you got a translation table where everything custom that you built, field labels, field names, code, formulas, all of that, you can control and add the other languages in a table. You can manage it and maintain that. It's hard, but that's the problem. That's what you face when you go outside of America or outside your boundaries or outside whatever it happens to be.
Multi-currency is also tricky because we encountered that it broke the forecasting when the multi-currency was set up. The dynamic currency.
That wasn't what broke. You remember what broke? We turned on, they had roll-up summary fields.
Yeah, I broke
and
the
I turned on
summary.
advanced currency management.
Yeah.
And when you turn on advanced currency management for a customer that has roll-up summary fields you're not aware of, and you didn't read the help documentation, you may cost that customer up to $2,000 in time to figure out that one checkbox ruined everything.
You're right. It was the advanced currency thing.
But you know what? It's their fault for not instituting manufacturing cloud, but trying to create it on their own. Had they bought and implemented manufacturing cloud, those fields would not have been affected by advanced currency management. So there. But always learn lessons on somebody else's dime if you can. All right. So you can watch this video later. Updating the company information is important because when you go to that section for, do I have anything? Oh, I got something filtered here. So and I'm going to just scroll down the menu. So your company has in the settings, you have company settings. And your company information is a separate page that is your company's user record, if you will. And it tells you everything that's there, the licenses, the permission set licenses, the feature licenses, the usage entitlements. It tells you all of this stuff. And you advanced admins know this. I'm just reminding you, this is a good thing. And if you want to learn more about it, read the blog post that we're going to post soon after July 13th, 2022. But Chen wrote a great article, and it's all there, those settings. You adjust those settings in all of the other places like business hours, your GDPR settings, which, you know, are now we if you didn't sell outside the US, GDPR didn't mean anything to you until California, as its own little country inside this country of ours in America, instituted something very similar. And there's probably somebody from California. And if you don't know much about people from California, you can hear them late at night. If you're quiet outside here in Georgia, you can hear them whining all across the country. So that, you know, it's all about respecting people's privacy. And so, you know, just keep that in mind. Holidays, again, holidays and business hours impact your what do you call it? Entitlement, your escalation rules and the timing for that. And you can add your settings and you can create a domain. Now, creating a domain in Classic isn't that important, but in Lightning, it makes all the difference because that's when your Lightning web components work. That's where you get easier logins. You can control those things. It's all good stuff to pay attention to, but it's all under your company settings. Question?
There's an update coming soon, right? That they're enforcing domains.
A login policy, you can enforce the domain. So
I think isn't there an update, a release coming? That's like, I have to look it up. There was something about maybe if you go to the release, what's it called? Release updates, release. There's something coming that's about like enforcing domains.
Enable enhanced domains.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but winter 23, you got to do that.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Good catch. So we are going to go to company information. We're going to add the street. You know what I think is funny? Zip codes are amazing. Here's the problem. You don't need city and state anymore. You just need the zip code because that tells you city and state. But in London, I discovered this. That zip code is actually that postal code for London or UK. That's the actual address. You don't even need the street address with a London zip code. That's the next door neighbor has a different number as a zip code. You don't even need the street address. One code does it all. Yet, what do we have to do? We have to set it. Why? Because we want to pass, we want to get our badges, and we want to get all this stuff. So we're going to go and change some of this stuff in our company information to get it updated. What was it? The company information. I'm going to edit. And we're going to change the language to UK. Is that right? No?
Yeah,
I made
that's
that up.
right.
Do we change it? We don't change it. Oh, yeah, we do.
Locale.
And then GMT is going to be 0. There's just too, by the way, for the record, there's just too many damn time zones. They're all the same. Why do we need them different? I don't know. But I'm sure it means something to somebody, but it just annoys me.
Maybe different people changes to have like different daylight savings.
I don't care. I don't care. I want 7. I want 4 time zones. That's all I want. And I don't want to pick from anyone. I want to be able to edit this list for my org. That's what I want to be able to do, Salesforce. I want to edit that time zone list for my org so that I don't have to go through all that BS.
Do you know that there are time zones that are like quarter till the hour?
Yep. Yep. It's ridiculous. Everybody's got their own little time zone and nobody cares in America. Nobody. In America, we got it correct. All right. Let's see what else we got to pick. Yeah,
Patrick,
it's
would you
great.
say Central Time is the only time?
No, I would say
It's just the only one that matters.
Eastern matters and that's it. Yeah, you're right. Eastern and Central are the only ones I care about too. Because once you get west of the Mississippi, it just falls off weird. All right.
Well, if you think about the name, it's in the name, Central Time. It's the only one that matters. Literally all the other time zones revolve around us.
Correct. I agree with you. So July, I went to start in July. Yeah, I'm sure. Let's see what else we got to do. Update your personal locale. So let's see. Add that to additional resources. Let's see what the assessment says. I did all that to find out it's different. I'm not doing it again. I already passed this. So I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it again. I'm not passing it again. So
You
I
get
did
it.
in
Everybody
2018.
get it.
All right. You need help with it? Put something in the chat. We're not doing crazy stuff, and we're going to pay attention to the next one. Yeah, I already changed it. I'm not doing it again. These might be what you might call unorthodox Salesforce training videos. Hold on. Let me see what since I've already passed this. Oh my God. Oh, I can't even change it. Huzzah. So we'll just talk about it. That's awesome. Okay. So let's talk about what they talk about. So when you have multiple currencies, where's my currency? I forgot, my head went my brain just farted. Company information. Oh, there it is. So from here, you can activate multiple currencies from here. Is that where it's at? Company information. I reckon it's in here. Activate multiple currencies. There we go. Okay. The implication of activating multiple currencies that you have to manage the exchange rate. And there are two ways to manage the exchange rate: intelligently and insanely. So intelligently is picking an average and then just having that be the average exchange rate and then calculating the exact numbers in some other process, some other way, or using an application from the app exchange to do it. Insanely is trying to get it to match exactly what what every opportunity is worth in euros and blah 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 blah. So that's crazy. Opportunity math is fuzzy math at best anyway. So forget about all that. So let's see. Now then you have to manage the currencies. So what do I need? I probably need to refresh to get my currencies to come up.
And then you also have, if you don't have advanced currency management turned on, if you just edit the exchange rate or edit all the previous records also.
That's
like
right.
the-
It changes
yeah.
history on all of your closed won opportunities. So
Yeah.
don't do it. Don't do advanced currency management and don't change the exchange rate once you got it done. There's no reason to do it. Now that we've activated, we can find the managed currencies. And this is what we're talking about. So I actually do like advanced currency management, except it does ruin your roll up summary fields for currency fields because it doesn't know how to calculate that number. Because what advanced currency management does, it time stamps the exchange rate for all of your closed currency records is what I'm going to say it, right? So closed currency records means your closed opportunities, maybe contract values, things that you're not working on where you want to get a good idea. For me, that's why I say pick an average exchange rate, one that you can get everybody get close. If something major happens, then create a custom field and do some work and figure that out. But I doubt that if anything major custom happens, it's crazy. So when you have currencies that are active, you can add new currencies and edit the rates of those currencies. Any type of currency you want to add, if you want to add the Argentinian peso, and if the rate is $2.50 for every American, I guess, I don't know what it is. You just add it in there and it creates that, and it adds a currency field to all standard objects that use the currency field, right? It just puts it on the page for you, if I'm not mistaken. You manage the exchange rate, and then you pick which one is your actual corporate exchange rate. What is your default rate, which will be the one you started with, right? Unless you move to Argentina and then want to flip it, which why would you move to Argentina? I mean, maybe I get it. There's some people who do that. You activate the currency. You can deactivate a currency. All it does, it'll maintain all of your existing records that had that currency, but it won't allow you to choose any new records with that currency. So it doesn't alter the amounts in items that use that currency, but your users enter new amounts using inactive currency. Setting your corporate currency. If you're changing it, obviously you can change it. Updating the conversions. In the active currencies or inactive currency, you can edit the rates. That's over here, right? So you can edit the rates for currencies, and that edits it for all existing records unless you use advanced currency management. 127 pesos. I've been watching Pablo Escobar on Netflix, and he hands out 10 million pesos in 1992 all over the place for different services provided by other people that I can't talk about on this video. And I'm wondering, how much money is that? I think it's $2,500 in 1989 dollars, which I can't, Google won't tell me what the exchange rate was in 1992 for Colombian pesos to dollars. It tells me what it's worth today. I'm like, I don't care what it's worth today. I want to know what those people did for 10 million pesos back then. Anyways,
you need one of those almanacs.
I need an almanac. Exactly.
You need the farmer's almanac from 1980,
exactly.
whatever.
And know when to plant my crops 10 years ago. So here's the thing with advanced currency management. It timestamps the exchange rate so that all of your historical records maintain closer to accurate of what happened in your currency, which is only for psychotics who want it to be exact. An average works. Cisco uses an average. That's what they use. And they're a big global company. I'm going with Cisco in that regard. We're not enabling this. You can enable it. You can ask me questions if you want. And then when you have a personal currency, all that does for each user, if where they're selling and where they're sitting, they have a particular currency that'll create that default for them and convert everything that whatever record they choose a currency for, it will calculate what that's worth for their currency. So they can make sense of it in their mind. So if 10 million pesos means something to you in whatever country peso you're using, it doesn't mean anything to me. And, I have to see it converted to know how much your 10 million pesos are worth to me in US dollars or whatever currency, right? So that's how it does the currency. I'm not using those. And I think we did that. And there's a quiz. And the only way for me to see the quiz, to talk about it, is to open this up in a incognito browser. And I'll answer the question. Any questions about currency? It's really simple stuff. But remember, the company has a default when it comes to currency, time zone, locale, language. The company's got a default. And a user will inherit that default setting unless they change it or it's changed for them. So that for the user, they enter the things the way they see them and use them. And Salesforce will do the conversion of time, money, location, locale, all of that for each individual user around the daggum globe. So you don't have to, and it converts one user to another using the companies as a standard. So what must you do before adding new currencies to your company settings? Let's see, set the corporate currency, activate the multi-currency option, add the currency dropdown, purchase multi-currency license for all platforms. Okay, so C and D are stupid. But remember what we did in the exercises was we activated multi-currency first, then we could set the company current. The corporate currency was set by default. So you don't have to set the corporate currency before you add new currencies, knuckleheads. If you're thinking that way, it's got to be B because the currency is the default currency for your org until you activate multiple currencies, because that's what we did in the previous exercise. That's what they explained to us up ahead earlier in those exercises. That makes sense? So use the trailhead to tell you those things. Enabling ACM enables your org to break every roll-up summary field that's a currency. Choose more than one currency for a single account. No. Add currencies to personal profiles. What are personal profiles? I have no idea. Manage dated exchange rates. That's all it does is see. Have all currency conversions use the static exchange rates. Well, that's okay. It's C. And if you don't know it's C, then go work with Microsoft, because you're not going to make it in the Salesforce ecosystem. It's already on the page and you just have to put your clicks on it to find out what it means and how it works. Fair enough? I'm not trying to be snarky, but if you haven't figured out already that, my US dollars, my corporate, because that was the one I had selected before I activated it. And then when I enable advanced currency management, I'm doing timestamps. And, you got to get this stuff. You got to understand some basics. And if you don't have the aptitude for it, don't fight it. You'll just be a bad admin. And all of us on this call have encountered bad admins. With multi-currency and currencies added to your company settings, you can assess current conversion rates, access current conversion rates. Yeah. Become more effective international spies. Maybe. Deactivate the corporate currency. No. Select the personal currency. The currencies added to your company. How many answers can you choose? Just one, right? So you can select a personal currency when you activate multi-currency. So each user can select their own currency. Accessing the conversion rates happens it doesn't say for who. The admin can control the conversion rates, but accessing the conversion rates is stupid. I think that's dumb. If you got a different answer, I don't remember my answers because they won't show me, but I'm going to go with select a personal currency. Y'all got any differentiations on that?
I agree with you because the current conversion rate is not it doesn't have anything to do with Salesforce itself. If you
That is so
have a
true.
yeah.
See, you got to use all kinds of knowledge. This is called IQ. That's what I'm saying. If it doesn't make sense, you might not have the IQ for this stuff, but you got to be able to problem solve, and you got to be able to use more knowledge than what's on the trailhead page. But it might even be on the trailhead page, right? They might have even said it. I just didn't read it fast enough, and I'm not going to read it to you. Not with the advanced admin. You new admins, I might call you along, but advanced, you guys got to know better. Sure, users have the correct personal currencies. That's right. So once you have multiple currencies in your org, then, you know, your users, if they're in the area that uses that currency, it allows them to see things through the eyes of the currency they're used to playing with and using. So anyway, we've been at it, a lot of classes today, a lot of time spent, but we've completed the first section of in the entire trail mix. Just so you guys know, we're going through each and every step of the trail mix in this video series for advanced admin. Tomorrow, I'll move my PowerPoint from my computer that won't display on two monitors to my one that will. And when we do this tomorrow's class, or come join us live or watching the video, this is, so we looked at this admin, preparing for your advanced admin credential. This is the one that we're working through. We looked at the prerequisites, which is your Salesforce Administrator cert. So if you don't have that yet, go get that first. Join us on other videos we just completed the security and access section by doing the 4 pick list, enhanced, session-based, and company-wide org settings. And then we're going to do, we didn't really complete it, right? So you're going to look at the link to administer account teams. You're going to look at the link about MFA, and you're going to look at this link to configure those. And that might be our next, we might have to cover those in our next session to actually complete security and access. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm done for today. Y'all done for today? You're done.
Unfortunately,
I'm
I
done.
still have more work to do.
Well, but look how much you're learning. That'll save you time and effort later. So we'll look at these 3 links in our next video. And if you jump in for our next session, our prep for next session is going to be we'll go through these 3, and then we'll actually start the what do you call it? We'll start objects and applications as well. So, but at least we're going to go through these 3 because I don't know how long they're going to take, and then we'll start with those tomorrow. And that's it. Any questions, comments, concerns, complaints? I want to thank you guys for being here. I want to thank you guys for watching on the video. Like, subscribe, share, and tell your friends about it. We need more people on this channel, and I could do this all the time. I just do it all the time. Anyway, so thanks you guys for being here, those that are live with me, and we'll do more of this tomorrow. Good.
Thank you.
All right,
you.
guys, have a good one.
You're still live.